should be running. Okay. Now, look at the pressures. They're a little lower than what it should be. So the system short on the refrigerator for one. And it could also be doing a self hump down already since it's having that issue. Okay. Let me start off by doing a quick little shut here. And then high sides first, guys. You want to close the high sides first. Okay. All the way. High sides first. Okay. Whoa. Happens sometimes. Okay, the high sides close. You're gonna see this happen. Now you're gonna see it pump down. You see the high side dropping. High side pressure is dropping. High side pressure is dropping. Right, that's what we want. High side pressure is dropping. Right. Unit still running. Okay. High side pressure still dropping. It's recovering all the refrigerant into the unit. Don't hear the compressor making any noises yet. Sometimes it will. Recovering, it's pumping it down. Recovering the refrigerant into the compressor, into the receiver, into the coils of the unit. Making sure this is off. Okay, unit's still running. Nothing's happening too crazy yet. We still have a normal operation. All right, here we go, pumping it down, trying to get it as low as I can. Okay, bear with me. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. Look at that. Look at that, we're getting there, look at that. There we go. A little recovery, right? Save the customer some money on the refrigerant as much as we can. And then, see it frosting up. There's a restriction now. All right, here we go. Try to get it as low as we can. All right, here we go. Turning off the power over there. Closing it all the way. And staying down. That's it. We covered the refrigerant. Power's off. Off. All right. Now we can proceed with removal of this line. We'll lose a little bit of refrigerant. This one. It should be always about that quick, so you could try to restrain the moisture in the air to go in the unit, right? So you always want to do that as fast as possible and try to minimize okay. So now that's done, we'll go ahead and see that we're at 0. Okay. Remove a little bit of the refrigerant out the lines. Okay. Alright. We get our nitrogen tank into play. All the valves are closed. So just be, we will be putting nitrogen inside the unit now. Be mindful now that we did the recovery, swapped the lines, we're able to know that these key valves are holding the refrigerant from the unit down, and these are going into a port, right? So they close off and not go that way, right? But these go here, correct? Right? These go to the unit, to the lines. All right. So here we go. That tank's closed. Let's make sure. Okay. First this open. Plus this open. Okay. Put them on the high side. Alright. Since we're already putting it in the high side, bro, we can already start spraying this thing down. Okay. Checking for leaks, right? We're at 134 psi's. All right, let's go again. Okay, we're dropping the pressure in there at about 300 psi's. Okay. We're raised up to about 200 because we're entering to the high side, liquid side, right? Because this system can normally rise up to about 250. That's what we should be testing our systems at, no lower than that, at least. I would say, but it's up to you guys, how you guys feel your system will run and how it works in the ambient environment. Right, we'll add a little bit more. Try to get about 300, right? About borderline 300 right there, right, guys? All right, players, my AC players. All right, and we look like we're pretty good. We're holding that 303. You know, doesn't hurt to spray a little bit more there. Double check everything else. You know what I mean? as the players will say, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean. And we're holding about 303, 309. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. So right now, I'm gonna start figuring out a way to get my vacuum pump hooked up to the electrical here, which we should have some kind of power source here. Yep. Get the vacuum pump going. Watch out with these type of roofs. Very slippery when wet or icy. And you just be careful because safety first, guys. Okay, safety first. I always emphasize that it's important to be safe. You want to go home to the family. You know, this is very dangerous. Don't forget to swap out your oil and your vacuum pumps. I swap it out every like fifth job. I think this is like my sixth one or fourth. I think it's my fourth one since I swapped out the oil. Just swap it out. You know, it gives yourself gives you a peace of mind of what you're doing. You know, your units at working at peak performance. So I'm about to close my tank up. Close up this valve. So I believe it was like 305.1 and this was like 304.9. I think it's dropping down and then it's going up. What that's telling me is it's regulating. See? It's regulating. That's all it's telling me. It's regulating. Okay. It's pretty obvious where I did the disconnection at. So, I mean, there's no no real reason why it wouldn't be obvious to see where it might be leaking from. Something, you know. That went up higher, that one went low, that one went up higher. So we're looking pretty good. Okay, I normally like to just leave it there for a little bit longer. Okay, just bear with me.